and welcome to this how-to on how to use PowerPoint to create any remote and recorded delivery sessions for your curriculum areas. My name's Suzanne Coulson. I'm part of the TLA team here at Newcastle College. Please don't hesitate to contact myself or any other member of the TLA team should you have any questions or queries with regards to this. So PowerPoint is great in that it can do several different things for us that we can use when needing to teach virtually. Okay, now of course we can teach virtually and still be relatively synchronous in the sense that we can go live. But the purposes of what I'm showing you here today are for when we need to go virtual and asynchronous, which is where we're recording materials for learners to be able to look at themselves. Reasons we might need to do that is you might have had to split your class in half and you're actually teaching face-to-face and synchronous at the time when the other half of the group is at home and needs to and still needs that learning to take place. So there are two types of PowerPoint that you've probably become familiar with over the last few months, all right? We have an online version of PowerPoint via Office 365. And then you've got what I'm calling my downloaded versions of PowerPoint, okay? Which is the stuff that's from my computer. So on my laptop or on my computer at work, I can access PowerPoint from the start menu, okay? That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the downloaded version. So just to quickly have a look here, this one I'm using is part of my Office 365, okay? But I have, for purposes of what we're doing here today, also downloaded a version. Now, in order to do what I'm going to show you, you need to have a downloaded version, okay? Now, if you've already created it in Office 365, all you have to do is go to File and Download As, and that will store it on your computer. Otherwise, if you're just creating a new document anyway, you would go to your little search part here, you type in PowerPoint, and you'd be able to open it up so that it's saved on your computer like that. Okie doke. Now, there's a few things that we can do with PowerPoint in terms of any recorded materials. The first is that we can record with audio. We can do that a couple of ways, and I'm going to talk you through that. That's what I'm doing now. I'm recording with just my voice over the top of it, so you can see my full slides and you can hear my voice. But there is also a way as well to record with video, which I'm going to talk you through and show you as well. Okay, so if I just exit this here so that you can see what I'm doing. Now, I need to go to my downloaded version, all right, my version that's on my laptop. And all I have to do is go to Insert, Media, and then I get these options here, okay? Now, let me talk you through these. So, the screen recording element is what we're doing here. So I've managed to select that. I'm unable to do so at the moment because I'm recording as we speak. I'm able to select that. I'm able to then select the part of the screen that I want recorded, and I can go through my PowerPoint as I am here or coming off it, whichever the case may be. And you can hear my voice as I'm talking through it, okay? What will happen then when I hover at the top here, I'll have these options. This would normally say record, but it's saying pause because I've gone live. I can stop my video, all right? Now, when I stop my video, what it does is it kind of saves on the slide that you are on at the moment. It saves an additional screen here, which is that video that you've saved, okay? Or that you've just done. So if I stopped this video now, I would see this, okay? Now, you've got one or two options here. You can either just keep the slide on and learners are to go through and press play on each slide so that they can hear your voice. But the best way, or the way that I prefer, I should say, because it's whatever works for you, is I go onto the video itself, I right click, and then I go to Save Media As. Okay, if I go to Save Media As, I then get an option where I want to save that file. Okay. Once I've saved it, I can then either upload it to YouTube, I could upload it to a team directly, I can do what I want with that video, okay? The other option that you can do, however, which is somewhat similar to what we're doing here, is I can go to the insert and I can go over to media again. And I've got this option here for audio. Now, regardless of what I do in terms of that, I can record my voice, which is fine for each slide. I can't work through my slides though, like I can do with screen recording, like I'm doing now. I can only talk about that slide that I'm on, all right? And when I've finished it, what it will do is it will bring up this icon, all right? Albeit that's absolutely massive at the moment. It would bring up a little icon that would just sit in the corner of my PowerPoint slide, and the entire file itself would still save as PowerPoint. So learners would have to open up the PowerPoint, they would have to individually click on each slide, and they would also have to individually click on the icon to hear what you have to say. So my advice is, if you do want to do a recording with audio where you're talking through your PowerPoint, my advice is that you do that using the media and screen record option. Okay. In terms of recording with a video, this is where we can asynchronously deliver our sessions. Learners can hear us, but they can also see us as well, which helps with that building relationships, building rapport. It might not feel like it to us when we're just talking to a screen, but they will be building rapport with us because they're getting to know us through the video. Okay, so let me just show you an example of how you do this. So we don't go to this insert in media this time, okay? What we do is we go to slideshow. So I'm going to go into slideshow and I'm going to record a slide. Okay, now I'm going to click onto this one because I've put this slide on here on purpose. All right, loads of information on there. You might just have a heading or an image or whatever the case may be for your course. But I've put this up here just as an example of what I might do in my sessions in English, and that's to analyse and extract. So I've got this slide here. I go to record slideshow. Now if I go into my settings, I can turn my camera on. There we go. Yay. So I've gone into my settings. I've made sure that my microphone's on, my camera's on. And this is what you can see now is what you will see when you're recording, okay? But this is not what your students will completely see. I'll talk about that in a sec. So you've got the option to record, to stop, replay, whichever the case may be. That's all quite straightforward. You've got this clear option as well, which is great. Now, it's not highlighted at the moment because I haven't recorded anything. But if I make a mistake on just one slide, I can clear the recording for just that slide. Now, for anyone who's tried already to do anything like this, you know, you'll know that you can sometimes be sort of 7-8 minutes through a recording and then something happens. You might say something that you shouldn't, or there might be a bang or a clatter in the background. Whatever it is, what's great about this is that it's just this slide that would then be deleted. The recording for this slide would be deleted, as opposed to everything that you'd done up to that point. So that's great. But you can select, if you think it's all a bit rubbish and you think, no, I want to scrap it and start again, you can record, clear the recordings on all slides, okay? So if I was to record now, let's start recording here. Is it going to let me? Yep, I get my countdown. Just like I would if I was recording an audio, which is kind of what I'm also doing here at the same time. But then I can talk through this slide, okay? And I can say to my learners, right, we're going to read through this. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to read through this independently and to write down 3 phrases or 3 words that stand out to you, okay? You know for your curriculum areas how that kind of thing would work for you, all right? So I'm not going to go through that. But for me, just to try and give an example, that's what I might do. So at that point, what I can do is I can pause, all right? So if I'm giving them something to do for 5 minutes, I can pause this recording and I can say, I want you to go away for 5 minutes, unpause after the 5 minutes. Or what I might want to do to help with timings is I might want to literally wait the 5 minutes out, okay? So I might play some music or something that kind of accommodates that 5 minutes. Or I might have an alarm on my phone, whichever the case may be, whatever works for you, okay? What I can also do, now you've got all these options here you can see along the bottom, all right? What I can also do is I can also write on this slide, which is great. So I'm going to highlight red and I'm going to highlight. You can probably see us highlighting at the same time. I'm going to, in fact, let's highlight as opposed to underlining. So I'm going to highlight boiled cabbage, an enormous face, ruggedly handsome, just as an example. Okay, so you can see there I can write on here. I could make some notes on it if I wanted to in pen. I could say, right, you need to look at this part here, or this part here, whichever the case may be. And then if I wanted to, I can delete all that, get rid of it by pressing the little rubber button, the eraser button here. Okay. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop this recording. Now, my recording on my slide has stopped, but our recording hasn't because we're doing something different here, aren't we? And I can then I can replay it, check if I'm happy with it. Yep, that's fine. And then I can either move on to the next slide. Oh, it's not letting me. Oh no, I have to press stop. My apologies. I can then either move on to the next slide to do another recording. Again, my face is still shown here, all right. Or I can press escape. And what happens then is on my screen, on each slide will be my little video in the corner here, okay. Now, what this does then is this saves as a PowerPoint, all right? So I could upload this PowerPoint into my file section of Teams, and I could say, right, learners, today I want you to access that PowerPoint, and what you need to do is train them to watch a slideshow all the time, okay? So go onto this PowerPoint, go onto slideshow, and if I had done it from the beginning, then I would press from beginning, but from current slide, and this is exactly what the learners would see. Okay, so all I've done there is I've gone, in the initial process, I've gone home, slideshow, record slideshow. I've said what I wanted to do on my slide, and if I did that for everyone, that would be fine. I can then upload that for my learners. They would then open that up in Microsoft Teams, and then they would go from beginning or from current slide, whatever the case may be here, you understand. Yep. Okay. So that's been a little bit wordy there. I do apologise, but just to kind of sum up, if you're recording with audio, you go to Insert, Media, Screen Recording, which then saves as a video file, or you can do just the audio itself, which then saves within the PowerPoint. Or you can, when recording with video, you go to Slideshow, Record Slideshow. That would then save as a video file in PowerPoint, and learners would activate the slideshow from the beginning for those videos to show. If you'd like an example of what that looks like as a full lesson, then inside the TLA channel that we've got within your team, if you go to where I've uploaded a document called 7A Synthesis Lesson, that was a lesson that I'd done with some, well, I'd prepped it for some English students, and that's where I use the full recording element, where you can see my video in the corner the whole time. So then you can see what that looks like, and you can play with that as a student looking in. Okie doke. Just to reiterate, any issues at all, please do give us a buzz. I'm usually always available on Teams, so if you want to pop me a direct call, and I can talk through it with you, that's absolutely fine. Otherwise, either pop me a message or, like I say, speak to any other member of the TLA team, and we'll all be able to help you out. Thanks very much.